hungry! Always hungry!
The world moves beneath the surface. A presence so dark and malign, always gnawing at the roots of the world, and always plotting and scheming against all the civilized races that exist, spreading corruption and waiting for their moment to emerge from below and claim it all. They are the Skaven, and they are the most numerous of all races. They move entire armies unseen, just beneath the surface, and can emerge at any time to devour everything in their way, only to disappear back into the countless tunnels below, draining into unseen holes, leaving only scoured lands and destruction behind. In the Skaven society, where betrayal and treachery are common, war between clans is the norm. Only the ones that master the business of war can really prevail in the underworld. The Skaven clan known as Clan Moulder are powerful beastmasters that use magical warpstone to breed and mutate ferocious fighting beasts and weaponry that mainly serve two purposes: to be sold to other clans for massive profits, and to crush those who might oppose their might. The legendary fortunes of Clan Moulder are raised by the horrifying and extraordinary biological weapons they provide for the rest of the Skaven clans. It is this specialty that ensured them a place amongst the 4 strongest clans of their kin. In the constant and deadly race for superiority, warlords pay generously for the ferocious warbeasts constructed with the acclaimed Moulder mastery. Rivals may attempt to duplicate and create their own terrifying rat ogres and giant rats, but their efforts are, in the big majority of cases, all in vain. Ancient secrets of altering experiments, their brutal methods of training, and the knowledge of using warpstone as a base material are kept greedily guarded by Clan Moulder, ensuring their power and their supremacy. To the north of the desolated lands of Troll Country, the jagged peaks of the World's Edge Mountains rise as if to rip holes into the sky. The vast rocks on the mountainside are cracked into crevasses that sink almost as deep as the boiling heart of the world. Somewhere, in the bottom of this void and within the northern wastes, lies the twisted lair of Clan Moulder, named Hell Pit, a place that breathes toxic fumes out like a diseased creature. Rocks as sharp as claws rise from the bottom of the crater, along with crudely constructed towers and buildings. Countless shacks and tents are stapled on one another, rising from the floor of the crevasse along its walls. The overpopulated stronghold is so chaotic and overcrowded that it looks as if the crater waits to puke it all out. Within the laboratories of their loathsome stronghold, the Packmasters use warpstone to play and experiment with their subjects. Bones are bent, flesh is sewn, and chemicals are poured until a violent creature awakens, trapped in a cursed body. Within the minds of that damned place, abounding warpstone shines an unnatural light through the lifeless rocks. Above Hell Pit, fearsome abominations of chaos and numerous wild creatures dwell in the wastelands of the surface world. It is the Skaven of Clan Moulder that thrive with the endless opportunities such resources bring along. The roaming chaos mutants and beasts are captured and used as the base ingredients for the endless trials and experiments. The skilled Packmasters need yet to break the primitive will of the massive beasts they capture under whip and chain. Only the most tenacious and vicious remain to be bred further, to be sold, or to be added to their own ranks. It is important to note that only the best of their designs are for the clan to keep and use against those who wish to challenge them. There is no restraint in the madness that goes into the creation, for the raw material is plenty, and the imagination of the Skaven is wild. One prime example of such creations are the rat ogres. They are the products of the clan's wickedness and expertise in crossbreeding. They are spawned for a sole purpose, that is, to obey their packmasters and gorge their enemies as hugely augmented weapons of war. Although the exact details of their ancestry are not certain, they bear the foul features of both the Skaven and ogres. Just as the Skaven, their feet move at great speed in the tunnels, and they are driven by an ever-present tormenting hunger. Their grotesque and misshapen figures stand as tall as 10 feet, towering over the common Skaven like a tree. Rat ogres are barely smarter than a standing rock, but it is not intelligence that their buyers seek. Pumped up with growth-inducing chemicals, humongous muscles cover every bit of the creature. Once a rat ogre is bred, the dazed beast is subjected to callous treatments to enhance its vigor. The master mutators often sew and stitch pieces of flesh and metal as they see fit, and mend it all within a balm derived of warpstone. Following their artificial making, the beasts are sent to the packmasters to be trained. Although aggressive and feral, the lack of intelligence in a rat ogre makes it a demanding process to train them. They are put to fight with other monsters of the clan, to select the best for themselves, classify others for selling, and eliminate the weak samples. In battle, they are a crushing force, if a packmaster can command them skillfully. An uncontrolled rat ogre is disruptive, and without rigorous guidance, it will attack aimlessly or halt to feed on flesh rather than fight. Left without supervision, it is also common to find the beasts attacking each other in mindless duels, getting carried away by their own blind savagery. The doomed creatures are tormented by their own unnatural existence, and often attempt to rip off their stitched body parts and even gorge on their own torn flesh. Due to such unreliable behavior, experienced packmasters know that it is best to quickly chain the beasts back once the fighting is over. Master mutators are responsible for the creation of these monstrosities, but there is one master mutator that rises above all others. A twisted and wicked creature that has a reputation that precedes him.
So hungry.
Throt is the master mutator of Clan Moulder, and one of the oldest of his breed. Over time, he has extended his life way beyond its natural course, his accomplishments securing him a prestigious place within his clan. Throt's existence profoundly depends on the powers of warpstone. It is this source of strange energy that he uses to defy the logic of nature in his insane studies. However, of all beings, Throt knows that when raw forces are involved, all deeds come with a great cost. Besides his obsession with producing undefeatable beasts of war, he also seeks to enhance his own powers through the use of warpstone. It is such experiments that gift him with an unnaturally high energy and a lengthy life far beyond the ordinary. Throt the Unclean, as he is widely known, has an excessive physical strength running through him, yet his blessing with such vigor comes with a curse of maddening hunger. His metabolism works at such an incredible pace that he almost has to eat continually just to ease his hunger. It is a craving so much stronger than the black hunger his brethren suffer from. To avoid being driven to insanity and having his judgment blurred, he carries pouches stuffed with all kinds of foods to gnaw at. Already cruel in nature, Throt is exceptionally brutal at the times of his agonizing hunger.
Me finally cure the hunger!
Over the long years of exposure to the warpstones, Throt's body has been increasingly displaying the marks of mutation. A strong third arm grows from his deformed and grisly frame, as if it had always belonged there. Sharp bones of spine sprout from his neck and run along the back like the ridges of a malformed mountain range. Along with such physical anomalies he exhibits, the unclean sanity dwells at the edge of mania as well. It is safe to say that Throt's rightful reputation comes from his success in creating unthinkable monstrosities through twisted and oftentimes painful procedures and commanding them in battle. He spends countless hours devising the most extravagant mutating tools and techniques. Echoes of frantic screams hailing from his study can often be heard in the dark hallways that surround the working area.
Me eat best of bits, yes. Experiments! Rat King! Set ready!
Awaiting a wretched fate, all manners of creatures crawl in chains and cages in his laboratory. Deafened to their howls, Throt continues his search for ingredients to better his growing juices and explore the crossbreeds that result in the most gruesome fighters. Amidst this endless pursuit, he sinks ever deeper into a madness that consumes him from the very inside. In Clan Moulder's pursuit of improving their designs into perfection, it is often Throt who comes up with authentic yet bizarre ideas that serve their agendas. One of such ambitions was to forge a variety of rat ogre that was to be perfected beyond its flaws. As common rat ogres lacked complex intelligence, training them as soldiers proved to be challenging and lengthy. Their extremely hostile nature often leads to a hysterical ravaging and makes it difficult to command or control them during battle. Following many failed experiments, Master Moulder seemed to be stuck in a compromise between intelligence and aggression. It was Throt who turned up with an ingenious idea to improve their brains without losing the rat ogre's ferocity. To realize this mischievous plan, he grew his own Skaven slaves that displayed submissive nature and higher intelligence. Once the slaves were ready, they were bound onto the backs of the rat ogres with warpstone-embedded harnesses. As the Skaven slowly embedded themselves over time, a new creature was given life by this unholy fusion. To equip his new construction with the most fitting weapons, Throt then sought collaboration with the arrogant Ikit Claw, and together they designed the infamous creature named Stormfiend. They are the ultimate and brutal combination of Clan Moulder's bioengineering and Clan Scryer's sadistic techno-magic. Hulking behemoths clad in bulletproof metal armor and equipped with massive Gatling cannons or swirling armored gauntlets. Throt is committed to advancing Clan Moulder, both through intelligent development and warfare. He marches to battle under the banner of his clan and leads his savage pack of mutants for a feast on the enemy. Throt's weapon of choice is a things catcher named Creature Killer. With this arm-like long device, Throt can grab the necks of even the largest rat ogres with ease and pin them to the ground with unnatural strength. His other hand holds the whip made of minotaur hide that is boiled in troll digestive fluids. The whip of domination strikes onto enemies and slaves with a stinging power and bends them to Throt's will. During one of his many battles, the Master's left eye was gouged from its socket by a rival packmaster. To remedy his missing eye, a rough piece of warpstone was ineptly implanted in his empty eye socket. What sort of lunacy and wicked power the stone emits onto his already murky brain remains a baffling mystery. Through the long years of his remarkable life, several failed attempts were made to undermine Throt. Many of his usurpers were met with merciless execution, whether they were of his own blood or not. The Master Mutator is always vigilant of those who may conspire against him, and lives in a constant state of paranoia in his already unstable mind. Throt is a dangerous master, and a vile creature himself, but more so, he is an insane genius and an innovative maker. Along with mastering the ancient techniques of Clan Moulder, Throt incorporates secrets that he learned from other races, creatures, and techniques in his own masterpieces. Many of his designs are inspired by his faraway travels to strange lands such as Lustria, a wild place where giant reptilian creatures roam the lands. During one of his journeys, he allied with Clan Pestilence and learned some of the wicked ways of their feared plague monks. Upon combining his newly gained knowledge in deadly diseases with his own skills in mutation and crossbreeding, the Master Mutator is set to create a deadly weapon. His objective? To breed a modified rat strain that carries a deadly and highly contagious disease to release upon the enemy. Moving on to the units and varieties of specially engineered breeds of mutated beasts, one can find a specialized variant of the rat ogres, the bone breakers. These are abnormally bulked beasts that can sometimes be up to twice the size of a common rat ogre. To construct them, they soak the rat ogres in a vat of growth fluids for months. This special chemical mix is produced by excruciating procedures the slaves of Clan Moulder go through before finally perishing. Thousands of Skaven slaves are sacrificed to get the needed juices, but the end result is worth it for the clan. Once the transformation of the rat ogre is complete, a bone breaker is born. A mutated, towering beast that is so heavy in engineered muscle mass that it can't stand upright. The bone breaker moves with his upper body arched forward, as the enormous muscles cannot resist the gravity. After placing a platform on its hunch, the bone breaker is ready to perform as a peculiar steed for its owner. Some of the specimens even carry sharp pieces of metals and warpstone instead of hands, creating drills that can break down stone and wall alike. A bone breaker is worth an incredible sum of coin, as it is sold to arrogant warlords who, more than anything, love to flaunt their superiority by riding atop this massive creature. Giant rats are vermin that were exposed to shape-altering practices by master molders. Upon being mutated and exploited, most of their features that resemble natural rats disappear. Although some physical similarities such as hairless feet and tails remain, giant rats share nothing more of their appearance with their cousins. Master molders stop at nothing to create more dangerous and capable predators, so it is a common sight to see all manners of spikes, bone plates, and tusks added onto their creations. Due to the modifications the rats go through, many of these giant vermin carry multiple heads, limbs, and tails. Their sharp teeth poke out from strong jaws almost like ice spikes. Wild and feral, they gnaw and strip the flesh off the bones effortlessly. When the pack of giant rats charge at the foes at a speedy pace, it is pure horror that takes hold of the heart. Due to their lower cost, They are regularly purchased by warlords who add them to bolster their forces. The most bloated of these giant rats are called brood horrors. These are huge, fast-moving monsters, adept at punching through infantry lines while causing terror throughout the ranks of nearby soldiers. They come into existence when they begin mutating and then feasting on litter and even other rats. They grow extraordinarily fast while increasing in both strength and savagery. The brood horrors can also be used as mounts, and they are highly prized by the Moulder masters, as they are only traded to the greatest of warlord clans, for only they have the necessary wealth to get their hands on one of them. When not serving as mounts, these frenzied horrors can be unleashed upon the enemy to break havoc and destruction in their lines. A hell pit abomination is a weirdly engineered creature that neither fully resembles a beast nor a machine. The most despicable and devious fantasies of the clan finds form in this extravagant creature. It is a horrid construction, with all manners of mechanical pieces riveted onto flesh and bone. Metal wheels and spikes perforate the meat chunk as fluid pumps unceasingly push mutating chemicals through its veins just to keep the twisted abomination together. Multiple heads and limbs protrude through the mass, bestowing the creature an even more hellish sight. The grotesque, rat-like heads hiss as the jaws snap aimlessly towards the scent of prey. The colossal abomination creeps forward in the battlefield, making his way by crushing shields and skulls with giant fists. The rival soldiers scatter away, bewildered with the sight of this shocking creature charging upon them. Even if one were to collect his courage and stand to attack, it is yet a quest to slay only one of the beast's raging heads. To the horror of the enemy soldiers, a hell pit abomination is even known to regenerate chopped off limbs and even rise from the dead, making it almost impossible to kill. Coming in the form of ravenous monsters are the wolf rats. Highly mobile pack beasts which are poisonous and can pierce through armor with their sharp razor claws. They can be found almost everywhere that the Skaven infest, from the tunnels and sewers that run below the towns and cities of other races, in Skaven nest lairs, as well as existing freely in the wild. When summoned to battle, their hunger will send them tearing through the ranks of an enemy unit, their strength being bolstered with warpstone and other weird mutations. I've fought some beasts in my time. Tusker boars, corpse hounds, greenskins. Once I even killed a bear with 2 heads, out with the hunting party in the Drakwold. But what attacked us in the hills near Helmgart was like nothing me nor the lads had ever seen before. Scrawny things they were, like rats, but bigger than wolves, and just as damn quick. Markov was the first to go, dragged off his horse when 2 of the bloodthirsty beasts leapt at him from the trees, either side of the path. Leitold was next, then Grimold, then Berthar, all hamstrung and ripped open, bleeding out, good as dead before any of us could bear steel. And then, Then the woods were alive with the vile things, screeching like razors on glass. So what did I do? Yeah, I hightailed it out of there, of course. I'm not bloody stupid. Making an appearance as a former general of Archaon the Ever-Chosen is Gorich, who once ignored his commander's orders due to the bloodthirst he felt in his veins. Despite being directly commanded to not attack an Empire artillery train, Gorich, who was a devoted servant of the Blood God, attacked anyway, resulting in his tribe being mostly wiped out. He was later sent to Hell Pit as punishment. There, Throt transplanted his brain into the body of a rat ogre, creating an aberration of incredible speed, strength, and intelligence, making the former general one of Throt's most successful creations. Eventually escaping from Throt's laboratory, Gorich scrambled his way up to the arena at the heart of Hell Pit, where he fought off the tide of monsters and weird creations the Master Mutator sent after him. His skills did not go unnoticed by Throt, who recognized his combination of intellect and strength as perfect for controlling the more rebellious of their troops. Gorich worked his way into the rank of chieftain, and has commanded many armies under the banner of Clan Moulder. Hidden out of sight, armies of horrifying mutants and warbeasts await until their time is right to cast blight unto their unsuspecting enemies. Quite frankly, only the fools believe that life moves solely on the surface. Only the blind can't see there is more than meets the eye. Beneath the roots of the trees and the visible plains, a world in turmoil lives buried in the Under-Empire. Lairs of Skaven are connected by countless winding underground tunnels that spread like gigantic main highways. A large part of this underway was once built in the times of glory of the dwarfs, the masters of stone. Such prosperous times are long gone now, and the witness of it all are the rotting tunnels heavily infested with the ratkin and the twisted, mutated beasts of Clan Moulder, who will stop at nothing to achieve their malign goals.
On this channel, we are putting together narrative Total War cinematic battles and Warhammer lore videos. A special thank you goes to our Patreon supporters who help us in the making of more content. You can also join Patreon and earn extra perks while supporting the videos to come. Find the link in the description below. Make sure to subscribe, and thank you for watching. See you on the next one.